So, verbal agreement, club to club. Documents are prepared. First part of the medical, but waiting on the second part of the medical, the official one with Manchester United. That's why Ederson is not official yet to Manchester United, and we have to wait for these steps.
You've spent like £185 million to upgrade. And again, if you just want to bring it back to your value, we can justify these fees however we like. I can sit here and say, well, this is the cost of doing business in the Premier League. This is the cost of a proven Premier League player. Anderson set the ceiling, and then it drips down. Fine, but like ultimately, you're spending £100 million on a midfielder. You've got to be damn sure that he is amazing. Like, you have to think this player is incredible to do that. That is the long and short of it. And Tonali is not a player that I would spend £100 million on. I don't think he's good enough for that. Very few footballers are. So that's ultimately where I draw it back to.
If I was a journalist at the moment, the article I'd be writing would be about how exposed Michael Carrick is as a manager. And it would start off like this. Michael Carrick, a couple of years ago, was a manager of Middlesbrough in the Championship. He ultimately got sacked. He then stepped in to help Man United on a short-term interim basis, did very, very well with a very simplistic approach to playing football, got us into third place, secured the full-time job with a coaching staff that he put together in January, and is now going to take Man United into one of the biggest seasons we've had in years, also in the Champions League as well. Coupled with that, he's sat there surveying one of the worst starts to a transfer window we've had in years. I do think Carrick is exposed. At this moment in time, I think Michael Carrick is in very big trouble. And also, how reliant was he on Bruno Fernandes? I mean, if you take Bruno Fernandes out of that team, or you man mark Bruno Fernandes, what is Manchester United next season? So he needs reinforcements. The team at this moment is weaker now than it was at the end of the season. It is. Casemiro was one of our best players, and we've replaced him with Ederson. We are weaker today than we were at the last game of the season against Brighton. So he's not even starting from a standstill. He's starting from, a weaker position than he was. So we need to get moving. Lots of people are talking about where we're going to go next. I think to summarise where we are this morning, I see a lot of talk about Tchouaméni. Again, look, I'm starting to see certain people talk about what we mentioned 48 hours ago. We did it on Thursday night. The deal is off. If it was ever on, the deal is off, because Man United have made it very, very clear that they won't bid high for any player, and Real Madrid will not consider selling Tchouaméni unless someone comes in with good money, and they're happy to go with what they've got. And Tchouaméni will only push to leave Real Madrid if they want him to go. He's happy to sign for Manchester United, but he's not happy to put a transfer request in at Real Madrid, because ideally he'd want to stay at Real Madrid. It's just the natural cycle that we saw with Varane and Casemiro. We don't want you here anymore, and you go, Man United's a good move for me. But if they want to keep him, he won't push for it. So Tchouaméni is very, very, very unlikely now. There is talk of Boadi, but I'd like us to sign Boadi, and we do need to do something reactive, having been, completely and utterly exposed by our feeble attempt to sign Anderson and Fernandes. We could move for Boadi, but I think so much of that is dependent on how advanced PSG, Arsenal and everybody else is. I mean, is their interest genuine in Boadi? Could we step in and do something creative? I mean, there's talk that Lille want him back on loan for a year. So again, how does that work with Man United? If they want him on loan for a year, you're going to probably have to pay big fee to stop that happening. So again, I just feel like Boadi could be a bit of spin. Then you end up with Alex Scott, who seems to be the player that everybody's pushing at the moment with no logic. Like, there is no talks. There is no feeling out of United that we're moving on that deal. It just seems to me that journalists are going, well, Alex Scott would be good for Man United. Let's say it's going to be Alex Scott. I don't think it actually is. I hope I'm wrong, because I do like the player, but I don't feel it is Alex Scott. I think Bournemouth are in a very strong position. They haven't been relegated. They've got European football. They've got Europa League football, in fact. They want to give him a new contract. And we would have to pay big money there. So, honestly, where we are at the moment is, well, God knows. who it is. I mean, Manu Kone is going to play for France tonight. Maybe we'll be linked to him by midnight.
I'm going to ask you both the same question here. I mean, obviously, the optics for Spurs fans is brilliant. Whether you believe the rumours or not, it looks on the face of it like potentially beating Manchester United to the signing of Fernandes, potentially beating Manchester City, Arsenal, maybe others to the signing of Tonali. They've survived last season. Everyone's praising the manager, new look ownership. It all looks rosy from the outside. But have they done enough already? If you look at the players that they've bought in with, we already know Senesi, Robertson, Van Hecke, Fernandes, and now Tonali. That's 5 signings.
And Dubravka.
And Dubravka, of course, came in as a goalkeeper for free. So that's 6 signings, 230 million, as you said right at the top there. Is that enough? Can they go? Are they ready to go?
Completely depends on whether or not Dejan Kulusevski and James Maddison can kick a ball, like genuinely, because if they can't do that, if they can't go, you'd expect Maddison to be okay based on the fact that he made a return to the end of last season. Kulusevski hasn't been seen in a long time. There's missing posters for him up. The last time I saw him, he was getting off a flight in Barcelona, and the suggestion was that he was off to see the famous knee doctor because it's happened again, or there are complications. Like, it's been a very long time since anyone's seen him play football. Is Kudus fit? These are the questions, because if these guys can't go, they are still short. They are still short of goals. If these guys are okay, then it becomes a slightly different scenario.
Yeah, big season ahead. I guess the likes of Solanke as well and so on. But, who's going to score the goals? Maddison, great point. Kulusevski. Do you think they've done enough, or do you think we'll see more from Spurs?
Yeah, I think this is just the start, to be honest. I don't think we can assess them right now and do that 11, how Spurs might start the season now, because I think there's still so many more holes to fill. So I still think there's going to be a lot of turnover, going to be a lot more exits. Which can lead to more players coming in. Richarlison, I think, is a prime example of a player who they might just decide that now, with 1 year left on his deal, it's time to cash in on him and look for a different striker option. Because you mentioned Solanke, I think he's been a frustration since he came from Bournemouth. He was that transfer record holder for Spurs until, obviously, it's going to be broken twice in the same week. But, since they paid 65 million for him from Bournemouth, he's never really got up that head of steam. There were moments under Postecoglou where it looked like it might take off for him, but so niggly injuries have frustrated him, particularly last season as well. Never really got going in that Spurs shirt, has he? So I think they will be feeling like, could we get a good goal scorer in as well?
And the big thing for Spurs here is, like, they've built what looks like a significantly improved team on paper, and they will probably keep going and keep improving. And then it's one man's job to mesh, 6 to 10 new players into a team and get them going. And that can take time, that can cause problems. You're introducing a lot of new elements into a situation very quickly. So you'd expect, off the back of this momentum and this excitement, Spurs to start really, really fast. Doesn't necessarily always work out like that. And De Zerbi's got a big pre-season to integrate a lot of new players.
We've got great examples of both, haven't we? Where it's taking time, and Sunderland, a great example of completely a brand new start in 11 and it working out really well.
Pretty sure West Ham won a transfer window not so long ago, didn't they? And it doesn't always come together like you think it would. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Tottenham. Exciting times for Tottenham fans. If the lads are right, then we're only just getting started. But what about Newcastle United? Where does it leave them? £100 million for Sandro Tonali, of course. £69 million already banked for Anthony Gordon, who's gone to Barcelona. Newcastle fans absolutely desperate to see this money reinvested quickly. Although I will say, on both Gordon and Tonali, fans are quite happy with the deals done, I think, as long as we see reinvestment. And I think it was timely last night that we reported on Sky Sports that already one looking to be through the door, which would be the second signing of the summer. They've also bought the young goalkeeper, but to see Bazumana Toure from Hoffenheim, £42 million fee agreed. Although Newcastle fans, after everything that happened with Munoz, won't be relaxed until they see him holding the shirt in front of the Gallagher end.
Even then, they'll still be a bit.
They'll still be nervous.
Guys, on this and much more, remember to let me know your opinion, to like this video, turn on the notification bell, also subscribe to the channel, because as you can see, every single day we have plenty of stories, plenty of updates, many news. And so guys, stay together here on YouTube. Let me know your opinion on all these stories as every single day here in the comments. Thank you, and I will see you soon.